Hey y'all. Hey y'all. Hey y'all. I see y'all in here like y'all is an entity. Yes, y'all is an entity. Y'all is an entity that is the Rock With Me Nation. Hello, greetings and salutations. I'm talking really fast because I've got caffeine in my hand and I'm talking like I need to slow down. So I'm going to slow down. I'm going to put this down because that could be trouble. It's going to be anyway because I plan to be really sharp and analytical tonight because I had a moment today where I actually was pretty proud of myself that I chose to restrain myself and chose response over reaction. A lot of times we do not choose response over reaction. A lot of times people want us to react to the things that they do. They want us to react. But instead, when we respond, it cringes the crap out of you. Kamayo King, president of the BPFG, in the building. Greetings and salutations. This here is coffee. Like it's the people at Cafe Diarte are getting a free plug, but there's a whole coffee culture here in Alaska. I would say, if not rival, surpass the coffee culture in Seattle. I know I just pissed off a lot of people in Seattle by saying that, but bruh, you know how like in the ghetto, you can walk a block and then there's a liquor store, and then you can walk another block, it is another liquor store. Coffee kiosks and little shops are like that here. You got Latin Drip, you got Cafe Diarte, you got Kaladi Brothers, you got Common Grounds, you got Northern Lights Coffee. There are a ton of coffee places here, and it's like coffee culture up in this mug. So we are really, 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 really serious about our freaking coffee up here. People be talking about coffee, but y'all don't know coffee. Like people in Alaska know coffee. We need it for warmth and to go out there and fool around with the BS that goes on from day to day. But well, you know what, Kamoyo, me and you gonna have to link up one day, and we're gonna have to see the inner workings of one another's coffee cultures. Because believe me, sir, after you leave Alaska, you will be like, that's some coffee. That's two things we got here that are global. Or I'd say nationwide. I know for sure. I don't know global, but nationwide for sure. It is the cannabis. If you are a cannabis person, you owe it to yourself to get you some Alaskan cannabis. It's, look at me. Anyway, and coffee. Bruh, coffee. See, I can't even put it down. I said I was going to put it down. I can't put it down. My wife be looking at me like, you drank that up already? Yes. I drank the shit up. Okay. We got a lot of topics to talk about tonight. And I am going to try to cover all of them in the time that I have allotted, because I have allotted myself time and I want to get done in that time frame. So the Rock With Me Nation is in the building. I always wait until there's a certain number, and I call that a quorum. And it looks like we just hit that number. Okay. I'm gonna give y'all a choice. Okay. Do you want me to start out entertaining or educating? Because I can do both, but I feel like emphasis needs to sometimes be placed on one more so than the other. So y'all want the education part of it, or the entertainment part of it, because I can give you edutainment. You're going to get that regardless. That's what I do, remember? But I feel a very strong need. I am led to teach. I am often told that I missed my calling as a teacher. I am actually starting to believe it, because I have been teaching people for about a decade or two now, and it is only recently that they have come to me and said, what you taught me changed my life. And I'm like, I wasn't trying to. It's just life experience, education, common sense, nothing too all encompassing. But okay, Kamayo says educate. Grand Madam says teach me. Okay. Dealt with a person today. Well, not today. Well, yeah, kind of today, but not today. That I would classify as a troll. Okay. And this was a passive aggressive kind of troll. And what I mean by that is, this was the kind of troll that asks questions, but then attempts to use the information that you give them against you. And it's like, okay, that's the dance we doing. All right, I give you perspective. I give you perspective. All right. This guy right here. This was a comment in response to my video talking about peak human strength. Okay. Peak human strength, I assume the typo. I ain't even gonna go in on the typo. Peak human strength and superhuman strength are not the same thing. They were so anxious to type that they couldn't even slow down to proofread. But that's okay. I'm not even gonna trip on that. Peak human strength and superhuman strength are not the same thing. They're both distinct terms, and never get information from a superpower wiki. I don't just get information from superpower wikis. It's called contrast and comparison. But you're asking me about where I get my information from. Sometimes you need to draw your own conclusions, and we're gonna get to that in a second, Britton Shaheen. But on and on. All right. Some of the information it gives makes on sense. Yeah, grammar does not. Peak human strength and super strength are not the same thing. And Black Panther, Captain America, or Bucky Barnes are not peak human. They are enhanced, giving them super strength, speed, stamina, reflexes, senses, etc. And a user with peak human strength can't beat a user with super strength, because user strength is in normal human range. They are not the same thing. Okay. Let's dwell on it, shall we? My man has forced me to get analytical. All right. He said I ain't do no research, and I shouldn't get my information from wikis. All right. I'm gonna take him up on that. Let's follow Britain's advice and not use superpower wikis. So what we gonna use? Fuck it. Let's go straight to the source. Boom. That's Marvel right there, my guy. That's Marvel.com. Okay. That's Paladin. Does everybody recognize Paladin? Yay, Paladin. All right. 6'2", 225, blah, 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 the usual shit. All right. Here's where I want you to pay attention. Strength. Paladin strength falls at about a 4. Okay? What are we talking? If it's a 4, what? Superhuman strength. Able to press 1 ton. Superhuman strength. Able to press 1 ton. For those in question, 1 ton is the equivalent of 2,000 pounds. All right? That's superhuman strength. Keep that in mind. Stamina, so on and so forth, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's good and fine. Now, let me make sure I understand correctly, because I gotta go back and look at this. User with peak human strength can't beat a user with superhuman strength, because user strength is in normal human range. They are not the same thing. I'm tracking. Well, since this is the BPFG and the Rock With Me Nation, let's go with you know who. Bam! Let's talk about T'Challa. All right? There. He said T'Challa has never been peak human. Never been. All right. 6 foot, 200 pounds. All right. We knew that. Strength. His strength is at a 3. Bear in mind, Paladin's strength was at what? A 4. And he can lift what? A ton. All right. Senses. Superhuman senses. Hang on. Look. That says superhuman strength. But let's read in there a little closer. T'Challa's strength is enhanced. Enhanced to the peak of human potential. So the peak of human potential is described under the definition of what? Superhuman strength. So if a human being is enhanced to the peak of human potential, they're superhuman? Okay, let's read a little deeper. He received a blessing from the Panther goddess Baz, which elevates his strength between peak human and superhuman levels. Now I'm confused. Is it enhanced? Is it peak? We're throwing a lot of ambiguous ass words in there. What are those words saying? Are those words saying peak human strength is superhuman strength, or peak human strength is just peak human strength? That's kind of ambiguous if you look at it. Help me understand. Now, his physical strength is noticeably superior to any Olympic class weightlifter and far superior to normal humans. I guess the mountain is not a normal human. Okay, allowing him to lift 750 pounds with supreme effort. But he can also tackle rhinos and wrestle with alligators. That takes more than 750 pound strength. When an alligator has a bite force of over 1,000. Right? Okay. So, where this man is making an error, he seems to think that that peak human strength is not superhuman, when they just talked about peak human strength in the definition of superhuman strength in that very definition. And then sometimes you have to give it the eye test. Like with our boy Matt Murdock. Thanks to nearly 2 decades of weightlifting. 2 decades. That's 20 years, y'all. 20 years. 20 years the man been lifting weights. 2 decades. He can lift 450 pounds. 450 pounds is the best he could do in 20 years of weightlifting. Okay, I'm not judging. Okay. It should also be noted that he was able to easily curl a standing barbell load with 400 pounds. He curled 400 pounds. All right. Use that barbell in combat in the fashion of a pugil stick. For those of you in the military or who have ever been in the military and have held a pugil stick, I have. It's not heavy, but in order to move and do what you need to do with a pugil stick, you're going to have to be fucking Hercules to swing 400 pounds around like that with normal guy strength. Okay, now here's what the fuck I'm getting at. Here go Daredevil right here. Strength 3. Same as T'Challa, who can lift 750 pounds and is considered superhuman. He is strong enough to this is Daredevil. He is strong enough to tip over a limo without straining, given the fact that a limousine can weigh approximately 7,000 pounds. This may have been another instance of Daredevil utilizing his chi, to enhance his physical strength. Given the fact that he's an avid weightlifter, he also maintained proper form to perform such a superhuman deadlift. I like that explanation. The current official world record deadlift is 1,104 pounds, achieved by half-Thor Julius Bjornsson, also known as the Mountain, who stands 6'9", 400 and between 400 and 460 pounds. That's how big you got to be to do that normally. You see what I'm saying? If you're going to be pugil sticking 400. So in closing, what I'm saying is this. I ain't saying superhuman strength ain't superhuman strength. But peak human strength, regular human strength, and all that shit is ambiguous. And why do we need all of this in between here and there? You either peak or you not. And then we can see from the numbers that peak's kind of wonky here and there. So how are you asking me, why do I think peak human strength is superhuman strength? Because you got so many examples of people who are supposedly peak humans doing superhuman shit. So my thing is, y'all need to talk. Editors need to talk to each other, and they need to say, yo, if we're going to have a standard and there's going to be a strength standard, this is what it is. We can't have Batman lifting 2,200 pounds and saying peak human strength is 1,000. I know y'all want Batman to be the shit, but come on. He's a human being. And did I say anything that doesn't make any sense? Did I say anything that was outlandish? Sometimes, Britain, you got to use your common sense, bruh. I know you reading this shit in a book. I know you reading it in some kind. You know what? You want to read some shit out of a book. Okay, you got it. I got a book for you. I got 2 of them, as a matter of fact. The Marvel Encyclopedia. Just, so because you you say he was never peak human, but 750 pounds is It's not superhuman, it's enhanced. That sounds bougie. I'm not superhuman, I'm enhanced. I love it. 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 Oh my goodness gracious. Oh, there's a lot. There we go. All right. This is just history. Hold on. I got another. See, your boy comes equipped. I got more than one. I got a few grimoires. Huh. And this one don't got the shit in it either. Okay. I feel like I made my point pretty succinctly. If I didn't, I'd be more than happy to do some more research. Oh, y'all been talking. Damn. Let me slow down. Okay. I love you, Grand Madam. Let me got a lot of comments to read. Okay, here we go. Grand Madam said, I get those kinds of trolls too. I scare the hell out of them. And the crazy part is he made his initial comment, Grand Madam, initial comments 9 months ago. 9 months ago. He just came back 2 days ago making more comments. I'm like, wait. Ain't you the same up from 9 months ago? What are you? Troll. 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 She said Britain needs to learn how to punctuate a damn sentence. I knew y'all was gonna have fun with it if I brought it to y'all, cause I'm like, but, you know what I'm saying? Say just goofy, aren't they? Yes, with their pseudo intelligence. I use wikis as a litmus is what I use them for, because wikis are generated by idiots, and idiots not all wikis are generated by idiots, but a lot of wikis, just like he said in his comments, a lot of wikis are viable because you got to get a mean. You know what I'm saying? Because DC say one thing, Marvel say one thing, Image say another thing, so you have to find a mean in the middle, because we're always trying to pit DC characters against Marvel characters against Image characters. You can't do that if Image characters have a whole different level they're scaled on. Well, not level, but type of scaling that they're scaled on versus DC versus Marvel. So you can't just, you know what I mean? It's got to be an eye test. Things that are universal amongst all characters of those levels in all of those universes. Batman takes the fucking cake, man. How are you just doing this type shit and you're just a regular old dude? You doing superhuman things. Oh, he raised this chi. That's a fucking cop-out. Shang-Chi beats the shit out of superhuman opponents all the time. And he sometimes he don't gotta enhance his chi. He just puts hands on them. And he's a regular human being. Regular human beings can't beat superhuman beings, Britain. Nobody told Shang-Chi. You better tell Shang-Chi, because he's kicking dog shit out of folks. Same thing with Mantis. Mantis has peak human strength, and she's beating the crap out of superhuman characters without using psionic, telekinetic, or cosmic powers. Just martial arts skills. She dropped Thor with a punch once. You don't have to be superhuman to defeat superhuman opponents. Those kinds of things, Britain, when you said things like that, that let me know you just here for smoke. You ain't here to try to learn anything. You here to just come and fuck with people. And that's cool. I'm here for it. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to drop the link to this live in that comment, and you can come and see everybody roasting you. So, you know. They seem woefully unaware of that which they deem themselves experts on. That part. How did Paladin get to that formula, or what? Did we ever find out? Pretty tight-lipped. I'm not a huge Paladin fan. I'll be honest with you. I know he, recently he was associated with that Avengers initiative and the Thunderbolts, but I ain't really mess with Paladin like that. I remember when he premiered in Daredevil, and him and Daredevil went at it. Hey, he's superhuman. Daredevil shouldn't be able to beat him up. But Daredevil beat his ass on top of the fact that he was superhuman and had on body armor. And Daredevil still beat him. So, well, not body armor, but Kevlar, like bulletproof stuff. And Daredevil still beat him. So, yeah, so much for that notion. A dumb smarty, my mother would say. Oh. T'Challa knocks out dinosaurs. Yeah, T'Challa knocks out dinosaurs, and he can still be peak human knocking out dinosaurs. I ain't saying he is. I ain't saying he ain't. But according to that, if 1 ton is superhuman, he ain't superhuman yet. According to comic book terms of strength. He's been able to fight Spider-Man to a standstill, who we know can lift about 10 tons, 15 tons. Matt probably done got stronger and is in like the 25-ton range. So do we have to keep a constant update on everybody's strength to make sure everybody's strength is in the parameters that it's supposed to be in? Why do we not have this problem with superhuman strength? Only peak human. Spider-Man has superhuman strength. But we never confuse Spider-Man's superhuman strength with Colossus's superhuman strength or Thor's superhuman strength. They're different levels, and they lay it out like that. So now, is it levels like that in peak human? If there is, then there needs to be some kind of chart or measurement to delineate such. Oh, he's peak 2. He's peak 3. Oh, he's just regular old human. It needs to be that, but it's not that. You got human and peak human. But then when we go, wait a minute, peak human's a little convoluted, we start raising goalposts. Just accept the convolution of an imprecise science, and that's what it is. If I can go in there and find glaring errors and shit like that, and I wasn't even trying hard, that was just a day's worth of research. Imagine if I'd have went in that bitch and just eviscerated it and brought tons of examples. I ain't trying to put nobody on blast. Don't put me on blast. You won't get that work. Theo in the building. My man, what's going on? Oh. I was flawed. Hey, I ain't trying to disrespect nobody. If you take it as a teaching moment and not as me trying to drag you, though it might come off as me trying to drag you. And I'm not really trying to drag you, but you coming on my page with the BS. So I'm not trying to drag nobody, but you trying to discredit me. You coming on my page talking shit like you don't know what you're talking about. And you don't understand what I'm trying to say. You go by charts and books and things and don't use common sense. That's all I'm trying to get people to understand. What the books say, but what does common sense say? If a book told you drop a bowling ball off of a roof onto somebody's head, it's gonna bounce off like on the Looney Tunes cartoon, you gonna believe that shit? No, you're not. There are certain rules that are just certain rules. A 200-pound man cannot lift 2,200 pounds. I don't give a fuck what fantasy you put him in. People want their heroes to be this thing so bad. Fucking just make Batman superhuman and be done with it. Because that's what you want. Yeah, I mean, you give him everything to be superhuman. Just make the cat superhuman and be done with it. Tired of having the conversation. Paul Martin say, so are Hobbs, John McCain, Jack Bauer, James Bond, Ethan Hunt, and John Wick peak human. That's my thing right there, Paul Martin. We delineating? Are there levels? Are there levels? Is Jack Reacher peak human? Or is Jack Reacher just a regular old human? No, it was a big 7-foot motherfucker slapping him around. But Jack Reacher constantly does these things that border on superhuman. No, he's not superhuman. He's peak human. Okay, long as it falls in the parameters of what a human can do, regardless of what size they are. Does that fall in the parameters of peak human? Okay, lifting a 7,000-pound limo, does that fall under the parameters of peak human? Oh, if he uses his chi to enhance his strength, all right, go get me a Buddhist monk. Have him do whatever he need to do to enhance his chi and have his ass lift this 7,000-pound limo. Oh, you've got to suspend your belief. You want to suspend belief when it suits your narrative. You want to suspend reality when it suits your narrative. But when it don't suit your narrative, you want to go fantasy. Make up your mind. That's troll shit, Britain. That's troll shit. You came in 9 months ago, was trying to insult and disrespect and all that kind of thing. And I'm trying to teach. It's all I ever try to do. But, you know, it's folks like you trying to discredit and, you know what I'm saying, talk crazy about the mug. You know what I mean? Bam. What? What else needs to be said? If you bring your evidence, and if you feel like I did you dirty, you are more than welcome to come on a live anytime to exonerate yourself. You are more than welcome anytime to come on this live and debate me and tell me I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Otherwise, keep that troll shit off my page. You are like anytime you want to debate, bruh. Bring it right. Hit me on my DM on X or wherever. You know I ain't hard to find. I am not hard to find. You want to debate it, baby? We can debate it. If you feel like I'm still talking shit or I don't know what I'm talking about or I need to do some more research. Guarantee you, be a teacher moment. Woo, got me sweating. Paul Martin said, I would love to know what Bruce Wayne's 40-yard dash time is. Bruce Wayne can do a 4 flat. I'm just talking. He can do a 4 flat because he's way above regular humans. And then I ask myself sometimes too, are peak humans just a select group of human beings like mutants or inhumans? Or Eternals or something like that? Are there just a certain amount of people on the earth who are able to achieve peak human status? Or is that the potential of any human given diet, exercise, blah, 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 training? Anybody got the potential to be peak human? Or is it certain people who have the potential to be peak human? Because if it's the latter, to me, that makes sense. That would explain people like Usain Bolt. That would explain people like Hafthor Bjornsson. It would explain people like Sugar Ray Robinson. Ain't nobody like that. So, and it can't be anybody like that, no matter how hard they train. So basically you telling me Batman the only dude on earth that could lift 2,000 pounds. No matter how hard you train, you ain't gonna be strong as Batman because your parents ain't dead and you ain't mad all the time. I believe you thoroughly embarrassed him enough. Trolls look for things to be offended by. Yeah, and you're going to come back 9 months later talking about you offended? or you need to do more research. See, you don't want me to do research because you saw. don't make me yeah. Grand Madam say Chi will charge you up in real life. Okay. And that I don't doubt. But I'm gonna have to see the 7,000 pound thing put into practice on a consistent basis before I go, that's the norm. Normal human beings can just lift 7,000 pounds. Chi, whatever, if they're humans and they can consistently do it, or it's something you gotta concentrate and you know what I'm saying? It's not within the normal parameters of your strength. All I'm getting at. I have been flipped, tossed, and tapped by someone half my size while sparring. Never underestimate someone you think is weaker than you. And that is not what I am doing, Kamoyo. But what I am saying is within the normal parameters. Normal parameters. A little fella flipping you and tossing you around is not normal parameters. All I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? It's girls. You know what I'm saying? You get on the mat and be rolling, and it's girls because girls are built different and they're almost like, I would say cobra-like, you know what I mean? Constrictor-like, because their bodies can move and contort in ways that men's bodies can't. And you fold them up and think you got them folded. And they like, nah, I'm just laying here on the mat, waiting for opportunity to grab you and rear naked choke your ass. So is I get it. Paul Martin say the Dora Milaje are likely peak human. Okay. And I don't see Dora Milaje picking up talent fighters. They operate within the normal parameters of human functioning. And that's all I'm saying. I'm not giving anybody more than they should have. I'm not taking away anything that anybody feels, an artist or a writer feels somebody should be granted. But it should be consistent. That's all I'm saying. It should be consistent across everything. Okay, magic, things like that, I can understand. That's in a fantasy function. You know what I'm saying? We don't have like actual functioning magic in the real world proper. Wink, wink. That's manipulated in ways, beyond incantation and spells and that kind of thing. I'm talking about like just drawing straight universal or dimensional energies and using them for effects. We don't do that in real life. Doctor Strange, Dr. Fate, you know what I'm saying? John Constantine do stuff like that all the time. But that's fantasy measurement. How, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like Death Battle. How do I measure how strong? You know what I mean? Those kind. It's left up to speculation. There's a little science to it, but a lot of it is speculation. You know what I mean? So you can't tell me what is and isn't when it's all an opinion to begin with. Go figure. Grand Madam said, us girls have twists and turns y'all don't know about. I wouldn't contribute to all of that as I would muscle tensile strength and limbrigidity, because women are naturally able to get more limber and stretched out and able to quicker than guys are. So I've seen some guys that are super limber too, but nothing to rival a woman. Nothing to rival a woman at all. The MCU Dora marked aliens. Right. I get that. But if you one of them people, I'm not saying you, Paul Martin, but I'm saying people. If there are people who just go wham MCU and 616 or all that shit's the same, you don't know what you're talking about. And I'll tell you, you don't know what you're talking about. They got different levels. Okay. T'Challa is flat out superhuman in the MCU. You know what I'm saying? So I get where you're saying Captain America, Bucky, and Black Panther. It was a girl, the instructor's daughter. My point was a rebuttal to his comment about a peak human not being able to fight a super. Oh, yeah, I knew 100 what you were saying, but yeah, Shang-Chi is the example. I mean, how many superhuman opponents has the man beaten with just kung fu? Kung fu. And an occasional nunchuck or two. Ooh, that rhyme. Bars. Anyways, I think that I have beat that horse quite thoroughly. Figure of speech. Figure of speech. So yeah, that was like a good 40 minutes. If you don't understand by now, Britain, you're a troll, and you'll never get it. You just want to be famous. So I have made you famous. Moving on. Who was paying attention to this right here? I give you a second. Cause we about to we about to dig in, y'all. We about to dig in. I'll get back comic-y with you in a second. But what's going on? I'm gonna go ahead and break that down. Dion had bladder cancer. Dion went to the hospital to get it operated on. Which of these two women do you think was by his side? Tracy Edmonds, who he broke off his engagement with in December of 23, or Karrueche Tran from the BET show? That Tracy Edmonds produced. Yeah, she's been on Claws and she's on the Shy right now. But that show, what was that show called on BET, yo? Oh my God, I can't remember the name. But anyway, Karrueche and Dion may or may not be dating. Karrueche is also famous for dating NFL football player Victor Cruz and of course Chris Brown. Karrueche 37. Dion 57. You know what? I ain't mad at you. If you can get you a little honey cute as Karrueche with no toes and a bad bladder, more power to you, my guy. But for some strange reason, I think it must be the money. I'm not calling her a gold digger. She's a socialite, technically, right? She don't need no money. Plus, she's a top-notch actress on a highly rated TV drama. I'm going to drink my coffee now. You know, sometimes you can drink coffee and it'll have the opposite effect. It'll make you crash. Interesting side note. Tracy Edmonds is 57 too. Does Tracy Edmonds intimidate people because she's a beautiful black woman and she's powerful? Is that why she's sitting on the dock by herself getting her piece? Because she don't want no men that's giving her problems and messing with her world. Now, make no mistake, I am not calling Paul Martin. Dear Paul Martin, that is the same woman that is in this picture. That is Tracy Edmonds, the former wife of Kenneth Babyface Edmonds. She also dated Eddie Murphy for a little while. And her and Deion Sanders were engaged until about December of 2023. I keep for somebody. Can y'all pull up that? You know what? I'll pull it up. Okay. College Hill. Executive producer of College Hill. There you go. I was trying to figure out. Yeah, there you go. And Carucci was on College Hill. Now Carucci is dating a guy that Tracy Edmonds used. Well, maybe. Because it hasn't been confirmed. I don't want to start spitting no rumors. I don't want to be no. I'm TMZing it right now. Are they dating? We don't know. But the one of Deion's sons has been filming a documentary chronicling his battle with bladder cancer, and Carucci is in the video, and she's very worried and tearful at some point. So don't know. Might be dating, might not be dating. You know what I mean? Whoa, it is hot in this. The heat, it was supposed to rain all week, and then because they was talking about tsunami. It's hot. Yes, Grand Madam, that is Carucci Tran. Yes, she is black and Vietnamese. Go blazing. Anywho, I'm not saying anything is bad about Deion dating Carucci. I mean, if Carucci wants to date Deion, and like I said, if you could pull a chick like Carucci with missing toes and a bad bladder, do your thing, homie. I'm not mad at you. If you still got it like that, you 57, still pulling 37, game up. You know what I'm saying? Oh, goodness gracious. I got a fan, Kamoyo. I could open the window, but folks be coming up and down my street and they're making all kind of noise and whatnot. So I'm kind of, trying to keep it self-contained. You know what I'm saying? But as far as he is perfectly fine being able to do what he do, I ain't questioning it. I'm just saying, well, I am questioning it, but I'm not questioning it like, oh, they ought to be ashamed of themselves. It's just like, wow, Carucci and Deion. That is not one I would have seen coming. That's all I'm saying. You know what I'm saying? Carucci and Deion, huh? Shut the front door. You know what I mean? What, Theo? You say, hold up, Chris Brown ain't say nothing. Nah, Theo. Chris Brown ain't say nothing because he too busy charging people $1,500 to grab their girlfriend's booties and take pictures with girls straddled across his lap. He ain't studying Carucci right now. He's having fun grabbing cheeks. Let me, hold up, y'all. I'm getting ready to grab me a towel. This don't make no sense. I know y'all don't watch The Chi, but Carucci is on The Chi, and she boning Emmett's little brother. And I'm like, wait a minute. Carucci is 37 and she playing like a teenager. Hey, if it don't crack, you know what I'm saying? And she got Asian and black, so it's staying extra uncracked. Grand Madam say we know Dion is a great conversationalist. Is that hey Grand Madam? Is that a fancy way of saying he got game? He know how to Mac. He born to Mac. He Mac with it. He did hang out in the Bay Area with Hammer for a little while, so he might have picked up that Goldie Mac type game. So who knows? Okay. He said, "Oh, that's the girl. Yeah, that's her name is Zuri on the Shy. Zuri? I guess it's a multiple gender name or double gender name. Yeah, Zuri. Zuri, not son of Badu. This is Zuri sex you in the bathroom." I like the Shy, but I hate the fact that it's leaning more towards like street stuff and gangster stuff, and Reg done came back, and it's just like this was a coming of age show. You know what I mean? The Shy was about Papa, Kevin, and Jake. Period. That's who the show was focused on. Now it's focused on all this folks trying to keep up with the BS. But y'all, I'm having a make it make sense moment. And my make it make sense moment is this. All right. I don't know if y'all been keeping up with it, but what'd you say, Paul? The Shy overstayed his welcome by about 2 years. No, I think what happened, they dived off into that Duda stuff, man. And it was all about Duda and Duda the mayor and Duda doing this and Duda got Tracy, which I did not like. And just did her dirty. But anyway, I recently was informed that Predator, Killer of Killers, has an alternate ending. And that alternate ending adds a bit of intrigue as well as confusion to the Predator mythos. Now, what has been established in Killer of Killers, that's the new animated Predator movie, where we see 3 different Predators from 3 different eras. And obviously, the Predators are a lot more advanced than what we thought initially, because they have the technology to keep a Viking warrior, a samurai, and a World War II pilot on ice. Okay. So the idea that is expressed in Predator Killer of Killers is this: anyone with enough skill, with enough cunning, with enough strength, with enough whatever, usually is ingenuity and luck, to beat a Yautja in single combat is given the distinction of going to the Predator homeworld and fighting in gladiatorial style combat. Okay. Now, they recently added a new ending onto Predator Killer of Killers. Now, at the end of Predator Killer of Killers, I ain't gonna give away too much for you, but at the end, I don't know if y'all watched the Predator movie Prey, which is a good Predator movie. It was a return to Predator greatness to me. Dan Trachtenberg is the current director right now with the Predator movies, and he directed Prey and he directed Killer of Killers. And I like the direction that he's taking the Predator mythos in right now. However, in his add-on to Killer of Killers, we saw, well, not on the ad, but in the original ending, we saw Nara, the young Native American girl who defeated the Predator in Prey, on ice on a Predator ship. And we also saw these cats on ice in a Predator ship. For those that ain't sure, because of the AI animation, that's supposed to be Danny Glover's character, Mike Harrigan from Predator 2, and Dutch from the original Predator. So you telling me Harrigan and Dutch got captured by Yautja? That's not what happened at the end of Predator 1 and Predator 2. Y'all gonna have to give us a story, Dan Trachtenberg. You're going to have to give us a story and tell us, why didn't the Predators take Harrigan when he was in their ship already? Did the Predators, did the Yautja come and get Dutch at home? Did they come and get Dutch from off a military base? Did they blow that helicopter up before Dutch was even able to leave and some more Predators captured him? There is definitely going to have to be an interim Predator movie or something, some kind of Easter egg explaining to us why Harrigan and Dutch are on ice now. They two of the few characters in a Predator movie that kick complete and total ass. And so they're on ice? Make it make sense. This does not make sense to me. It could easily make sense if you give a plausible explanation, or you fill in that blank. Because how did Dutch go from being on a helicopter with old girl and they leave in the jungle to being on ice with the Yautja? How did Mike Harrigan go from being all dusty and dirty after a spaceship took off and left him sitting in Los Angeles? Tell me those stories. And I feel like I could be somewhat good with this if y'all retcon it, because I really like the Predator franchise. I like the Alien franchise. They both started out as horror franchises originally, and they kind of made that pivot in the action movies. So it's like I can appreciate that kind of growth and transition. But you know what I mean? It's like, I'm not saying it's not possible. Just let me see the story. I mean, Dutch barely beat the freaking Predator that was on his helmet. He barely beat him. And Harrigan, he was all but whooped. You know what I'm saying? He again, like I said, ingenuity and luck is how a lot of people beat Yautja. So I am hoping they tell that story. You know what I mean? I want to see it. I ain't saying it couldn't happen. I just want to see it. And Kamayo say, each person has defeated a Yautja, so of course a team would be sent to collect them. Mind you, there are different clans of Yautja, and not all of them are honorable. I get that, but in Killer of Killers, They were on the same ship with the other Yautja. So is this faction of Yautja that does this the dishonorable faction? Either way, the method, the mechanics of how Dutch and Harrigan are on ice, I'm not questioning or doubting. I'm just saying I want to see the how it happened. That's all I'm saying. Let me see that story. I mean, you can do what you want to do with the Predator mythos. Just let me see what you're doing. Don't just throw me an image and go pow. Oh, by the way, these two cats are on ice too. You gotta tell that story, bruh. You can't just. That's it, sorry. That's all we got for you, mister. We're done. Nah, don't do it like that. Let me see and hear, the story that you had. Okay. All right. Let's have some fun. Are you ready to have some fun? I thought that you might be, mate. Okay. I need to grab one image and we'll get started. If you are digging what a brother is shoveling, put some dirt in my bucket. Comment, like, subscribe, and share. Comment, like, subscribe, and share. Comment, like, subscribe, and share. Because it's what I do. Oh, okay. Here we go. Nope, that's not in there. Just give me a second here. Just got to find what I'm looking for. There we go. We use this one. Oh, wait a minute. Not that one. What? I'm tripping. Sorry. I'm tripping, yeah. Sorry. Okay. That works for me. Okay. Okay, y'all. There we go. Oh my goodness. You would think it would be much easier to do this. All right. I had asked y'all a question and I want y'all to put on your thinking caps. Okay. Now, say for instance, DC and Marvel are fairly equivalent in power as far as their characters go. So, in a one-on-one battle, we're not talking universal level. What did I just say? We're not talking universal level. Planetary, okay. Interplanetary, okay. Not universal. Okay, we're not going Korvac and Thanos and Eternity and Living Tribunal and that kind of a thing. We're talking about on a commiserate level who in the Marvel universe would you pick to beat that guy? You can only pick one character. And the conditions are this. You either have to knock him unconscious or kill him. We know he is extremely difficult to kill, but he can be knocked out given the right set of circumstances. So that is Kal-El of Krypton, aka Superman. Who you got to put him down? And let's make it even more difficult. It's a random encounter. So whoever is facing him with standard equipment and abilities. Who you got? I know who I got, but I want to see who y'all got. Who in the Marvel Universe are you picking to take down Superman and why? Okay. The obvious answer that I saw coming, Blue Marvel. Okay. So why Blue Marvel, Kamoya? I mean, I know the obvious answer, but I would like to hear your answer. Why do you say Blue Marvel? And what do you feel would be the most efficient scenario for Blue Marvel to take Superman out? Paul Martin says it's a tie between the Silver Surfer or Blue Marvel. Again, so that's two Blue Marvels and a Silver Surfer. How is Blue Marvel taking Superman out? And how is the Silver Surfer taking Superman out? I kind of know. I have some ideas. If one of those two characters was the character that I picked, I have some ideas of how I would use those characters to take down the Man of Steel. But this is all opinion based. I'm not telling anybody they can't or can or whatever. I'm just curious what your thoughts are. I didn't say no Icon. Icon isn't universal. If Icon is your pick, fine. I okay. So we got two Blue Marvels, a Silver Surfer, and an Icon. Again, you guys have given me the who, but not the why. Why are they going to take Superman out in a one-on-one fight? Or maybe how is what I'm asking. How would Blue Marvel take Superman out? Would he overpower him? Would it be something quantum related? Would he have to remove him from the planet? What? How would Blue Marvel take Superman out? And how would the Silver Surfer take? Again, I got my ideas about what I would do, but just curious to hear y'all. Again, you're telling me about what Superman can't do. Tell me about what Norrin Rad can do. What can Norrin Rad do to Kal-El to put him on his butt and knock him out? That's what I'm asking. Google if you need to. Google if you need to. Because you're going to have fun. We're really going to have fun when we get to the why I'm doing this. You're going to enjoy this. Similar strength, powers, and abilities. Plus, Blue can spam various forms of radiation as well as absorb anything tossed at him. He would reduce Sue's power source and land on red sun radiation. Okay. There's one right there. I like that, Kamoya. That is pretty darn foolproof. Is that the only way? Because if we're going with that, Soups, thanks to John Burns retcon in 86 is a great big old solar energy battery. Can I, as Blue Marvel, absorb the solar energy from Kal-El cells? That is something Blue Marvel has been known to do. The Anti-Monitor Whip Soup's ass. Blue Marvel has a similar power source. Okay. Paul brings up an interesting point, though, Kamoya. Here's the thing. It's harder because they don't know about his kryptonite or red sun weaknesses. You do have a point there, sir. That is a very valid point. You are absolutely right, sir. There, bam. D-Real said the battle is random. I did say that, didn't I? The Marvel foes ain't gonna know his weakness. That, Mr. Martin, is why I asked why. And what is the method? And when we come up with these exotic methods, are these methods in line with what that character would do? That's the important part. We're not like, because like when I would play like Marvel superhero role playing games with my friends, and and I would be the judge or the dungeon master or whatever, and and a lot of the cats that I would play it with, they were knowledgeable of comic books, but they were comic book adjacent. Like they would say things like, okay, had Captain America, and it'd be like a regular person say, I want to use my shield to chop his head off and cut his head. Okay, now if it's bearing blood, I see Captain America doing that. But with a regular thug you trying to get information out of, now maybe John Walker might try that, but not Steve Rogers. You know what I'm saying? So it within character of that character's makeup. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I got a kryptonite hook for a hand. Yeah, that kind of stuff. If it's along them lines, that's cool. But if you ain't a random encounter, that isn't the only way. He can also depower Soups by absorbing his power source. Wouldn't be much for Blue to deduce that, as he has done it in other situations. Okay. All right. Cool. There ain't nobody else. Ain't nobody else in here. Blue Marvel, and Silver Surfer is all we got. Blue Marvel, Silver Surfer, and Icon. That's it. Okay. And here we go. Paul Martin said, we all love Adam, but you're Batmanizing him. No, I ain't trying. I'm not trying to start nothing. Don't y'all get in y'all feelings, man. This is we cool. This we family. Okay. Thor. Okay. Thor. So more than likely, Thor's just brute forcing and straight power attacks to overpower it. Now, I don't know if we saw the limited series from the early 2000s, JLA and Avengers JLA. That argument was settled barely, but Superman beat Thor in a straight up fight. He barely beat him, but he beat him. I don't know if that's because the writers say or whatever, or because Superman is Superman and we don't want our iconic Superman looking like a chump, or whatever the case may be, or they voted or they arm wrestled or whatever the case was. Superman, and it is canon, has beaten Thor in a fight. So I guess then it depends on what version. Now, if we say King Thor, that's different. That's a different story. Rune King Thor, oh, that's a whole nother story. Okay. Superman getting that work. Kimoyo said, Mr. With all due respect, you don't know how. Okay. All right, y'all. Let's do it like this. Let's do it like this. Silver Surfer, Blue Marvel, Icon, edutainment time, y'all. Tell me if this don't track. If I have to pick one Marvel character to bring down Superman, there he is right there. Okay. Tell me this mug ain't got some of the best force fields in all of comics. Magneto's force fields have resisted everybody from Cyclops to freaking Galactus. Those force fields, bar none, are superior to any force fields in all of comics. Fight me on that shit. I dare y'all. Suffice to say, I am more than confident that Magneto's force fields can stand up to Superman. Okay. Why did I pick Magneto? A couple of reasons. Magneto has power over what? The electromagnetic spectrum. I also would have accepted Monica Rambeau. Now, what does he have that can take Superman down in an electromagnetic range that he uses all the damn time? Oh, wait a minute. I got a question. Remember in Justice League? Do you bleed? It looks like Superman bleeds. It looks like Superman bleeds a lot. Oh, wait a minute. Cinematic Superman? Hell no. He bleeds too. Couple of them bleed. Does Superman bleed? Does Superman bleed? Superman bleeds. So, guess what? That blood's red. Every single one of those pictures showed red blood. So guess what that means? That means at some level, somewhere, Superman has what? Iron in his blood. Is Magneto not above fucking with people's blood? Is that not in character for Eric? So I say to y'all, you want to take out Superman, Blue Marvel, Silver Surfer, and Icon are fine, but I think Magneto is going to be pretty efficient and ruthless about doing it. Agree? Disagree? That's just my 2 cents worth. Ha! He said of the villains, I would pick Molecule Man. I know it's corny. And I've been reading up on my DC. I'm getting my DC game together. But Superman appears to have some bit of resistance, not immunity to molecular molecular manipulation to a certain degree. Not saying he's proof against it, but that part. Oh, yeah, because I'm not going conventional. And I was thinking just like what Paul was thinking. He's not just going to poof, hit the electromagnetic spectrum and go, kryptonite. But he can hit the electromagnetic spectrum and hit him with red sun radiation at some point. He can hit him with solar radiation and see that enhances it and then go, let me draw that out of there. And Magneto can do all of this behind the comfort of the best force fields in the game of comics. Am I lying? No, you're quite right. Okay. All right, y'all. Damn, we done hit all the topics I wanted to hit and had fun doing it. I got one more I want to hit. And I am so freaking serious about it. So I'm going to take a second. Whew, good thing the last one. I'd have just melted to pieces by now. Anyway, y'all saw that on my page. All right. Now, I ain't so much looking at the Steve Francis thing as I am a letter or message to young black men. I don't want young black men to be blind to what's going on a whole in the world today and how it affects them as young black men, because black men are the most scrutinized demographic when they do wrong and the most underappreciated demographic when they do right. So it's hard for us. Well, I'm not a young black man, but it's hard for black men to get up in the morning and walk out there, because we're not looked at the same. We're not treated the same. I got on a shirt that says, they want our rhythm, but not our blues. Now, some lady was hollering about something in front of the grocery store trying to promote Doctors Without Walls. And she said, oh, I really like that shirt. Because she's on a mic and she was yelling, you know what I'm saying, that pressure stuff. And she's like, yeah, they want our rhythm, but they don't want our blues. Yeah, you should do Hospital Without Walls and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, do you contribute to veterans? Do you contribute to the United Negro College Fund? I understand your cause is noble, but, don't discount none of mine while you out here promoting yours. So maybe I already donated to the United Negro College Fund. Maybe I've donated to Howard University, and I don't feel guilty by what you're saying. And the young black man that was with her, he was like, I get that. I 100%, I identify what you're saying. I don't feel like you should pressure nobody to do anything. I feel like it's something that they should want to do. And I was like, good for you, young man. Good for you. You know what I'm saying? Teach your sister here, that it ain't about guilting somebody into doing something if you want them to do it. You know what I mean? And she was standing right there when I said it. And I wasn't saying it to like slight her or insult her or anything like that, because she took it in a spirit of, she saw the gray, and she took it as a spirit of instruction. And he made me feel like, okay, it's usually the other way around. It's usually the brother who's wilding out and a little, I think she was Native American gal would be, in the background letting him crash out. But I like the fact that, he was working for a worthy cause. He was speaking on a worthy cause, and he wasn't putting pressure on nobody to do it I want to see more young men like that are trying to do good things, but at the same time are staying aware of what the hell is going on in this country, and to not be lulled into a false sense of security like a lot of people are. You know what I mean? A lot of people get lulled into a false sense of security, and then that's when all of them traps ensue. And young men are young men. Just that. They're young men. They're y'all all we got. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say y'all all we got, but we need to. We are 7 months, get ready to be 8 months into this regime. They are doing everything they can to set this country back to fucking 1952. You know, as far as people's place in this country. You know what I'm saying? This imagined superiority, this anger, this so-called fatigue at being Caucasian in America. What? Yeah. What do Caucasian people have to be tired of in America? And like I always tell people, these guys haven't dealt with the internal trauma that they experience daily. And they project it in the form of hate. They project it in the form of discrimination. They project it in the form of bigotry and systemic racism. All of that is stacked against you as a black man in this country. You can go a lot of different places in the world, and you being a black man is a blessing. You being a black man is an advantage. You being a black man is looked at with favor. Unfortunately, in the United States, it ain't one of them places. Because look, I mean, I go Diddy, I go Shannon Sharp, I go Bill Cosby, I can name 4 or 5 more. Anytime you get money or prestige in this country, and you this complexion, they either looking to take it from you or besmirch your reputation and make you into something that you're not. Don't let them turn you into something that you're not, because when they get rid of everybody who they see as a figurehead, when they get rid of everybody they see as someone who could inspire us in a positive direction, that's when they're gonna do what they're gonna do. Young men, the biggest takeaway I would give is make plans to get your own. Make plans to create your own. Because ain't nobody giving nothing. Ain't nobody donating nothing. Ain't nobody contributing nothing to our cause. I go out there, I deal with it, I experience it on a regular, man. They do not give a raspatootie about what we do. So, be the best possible you that you can be is one of the things I would say. Be the best possible you that you can be, because folks is looking to shut you down. Folks is looking, you the catalyst. You are what's going to be the change that we need to see. You could be that change that we need to see. A lot of people don't want to deal with it. Oh yeah. And I ain't forgot about Mexico and Canada literally making plans to get around U.S. tariffs. That is going to create a huge problem for us here in this country. I hope that you are aware of that. Claudia Scheinbaum and Mark Carney have gotten together and said they're going to build their own pipeline around the United States so that they can trade back and forth. I don't know, when they plan to make that, bring that into fruition, but this is what has been presented. This information is presented. It hasn't happened yet, but that's information that has been presented. I will also tell them, if you can help it, don't buy the bullets and load the gun for your enemy. Yeah, I agree 100%. Don't put yourself in a situation where you're going to, like, I give you a real life situation. This just happened a couple days ago. I had a partner of mine. He's having trials. He's having trials with his daughter. His daughter's 17. Okay. And she's 17. Okay. She had a boy in the house. And this boy came in the house and stole dad's stuff. As a parent, imagine how you would feel if a mug came in your house and stole from you. Now, my friend was ready to ride out on these youngsters. Ride on them. I don't mean I'm just going to put hands on you. Because to him, it's about the principle. Regardless of what my daughter's doing, she's letting mugs walk around in my home, being in my personal shit, looking at my intimate things, taking stuff that don't belong to you. And this cat took the stuff, left, ghosted my man's daughter, and got on a plane and left the state of Alaska. Now, he wanted to deal with this cat in a very street way. We got to learn to pump the brakes in situations. I know everybody, this sound punk, that sound pussy, that sound... There are enough of us in jail. We got enough motherfuckers in jail to make an army. We don't need to put our army behind bars where we can't get to it. We don't need to put our warriors in cells where they can't stretch their arms and flex their muscles and do what they need to do for us. We can't do that. So we got to be smarter than that. Just like we ain't been reacting to this petition shit, just like we ain't been reacting to all of these attempts to get us to wild out as a group so they can call in whoever they want to call in to annihilate us. We need to keep doing that. Stay off of their radar. Stay unbothered. Stay unfazed. Till midterms. It's easy to do, man. Easy to do. I want to see my young brothers. I want to see them around. You know what? Yeah, I want to see them around. I want to keep reading about them getting shot and shit. I don't want to keep reading about them getting strangled or choked to death. I don't want to read about them getting thrown in some place, mangled. And I don't want to. I'm tired. And I'm really tired of hearing about police shooting them. Young men, be vigilant. I know they say youth is wasted on the young, man, but don't waste it, man. Do something with that shit. Please. Don't let them get you. Don't let them get you. Don't let them get you. And when you get it, take it somewhere else where they can't get it. Build you a Rosewood. Build you a Tulsa, Oklahoma. Build you one of them. And then this time, have the means to protect it. Hey, want to see my purple Mr. Terrific? Yeah, I went on ahead and got one, y'all. It's just like the red one and the black one. You know, it just has a different colored jacket and a different, of course, face. You got purple, Mr. Terrific. Now, if we are going to make Mr. Terrific the name he deserves to be, exposure. Exposure. We need him exposed in an animated format. We need him exposed in a live action television format. We need him exposed in a live action movie format. And we need him in a monthly comic. That's how you make Mr. Terrific a household name. Exposure. Look how much, and I'm not throwing no shade. I'm just making a point. Look how much Miles Morales has been exposed across all forms of media. Miles Morales is who and what he is today because they followed the formula of exposure, 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 freaking exposure. We have seen Miles Morales constantly in comics, in movies, on television, on action figures. The layman, the casual, knows who Miles Morales is. Make him like that. Make him like that. Make Michael Holt like that. That's got to start with a book, though. DC, y'all need to give him a book. Give him a monthly book. I mean, I like that Mr. Terrific year one is well received, but it's temporary. And give me that Mr. Terrific year one action figure. I'd be out for that. I'd be with that. Theo asks me, did you read where Feige said Sony told him he couldn't use Miles in the MCU? I don't blame him. I don't blame him. I don't blame him at all. Damn, Nightella. Better late than never. Replay game, baby. Don't trip. There was some entertainment going on earlier tonight, and we just talked about a few things. Yeah, the Terrifics was fun. Need to re-implement that. We need to see that. Maybe we can have a couple of Mr. Terrific titles. Ah, nah, that's too much. They too busy making Batman titles. Who told you fools that we needed that many damn Batman comic books. Stop making Batman comic books, DC. We don't need another Batman comic book. We don't, say it with me. We don't need another Batman comic book. I like Batman just as much as the next guy, but damn, Batman and Robin, Detective Comics, freaking, stop. That's all I saw when I went to the LCS today. There wasn't nothing in there worth getting, but I go in to look. You know what I mean? And what I saw was Batman, and Batman. Is that, do y'all feel like if y'all didn't have 97 Batman books, DC, that your company would fold? I like Batman. I don't like Batman that much. I don't like Batman 9 titles Batman. I don't like Batman like that. Put some emphasis like that on some other characters. How about you make a Wonder Woman family? And I know it's only like two, maybe 3 Wonder Woman comic books. I could stand to see another Wonder Woman comic book. Oh, you are impartial towards Wonder Woman. I might be. Maybe. Okay. Booster Gold. Legion of Superheroes. Can we get some of that? Can Val Armor Karate Kid get a comic book? Ooh, uh-oh. Kamoyo getting ready to say something. This man chopped a mountain in half. Well, not in half, but he chopped a cliff. That's more martial arts than Batman doing today. I can tell you that much. I'd love to see some of those ridiculous, far beyond peak human ass feats that he does. I love Legion of Superheroes. In the 70s, man, that Mike Grell run, mwah. I was with that. Where they introduced Ty Rock. We found out, I think Validus is somebody's brother, one of the Legionnaires' brothers that got kidnapped and turned into Validus. I never knew that. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, there's a lot of Legion stories to be told yet. They have a New Gods comic, but it's not very Kirby-esque. And speaking of Kirby-esque, I would not mind seeing a Commandy or an OMAC comic book. I know they renewed, I think they renewed both of those during the New 52, but after the New 52, we didn't see it no more. I like OMAC. Not that New 52 version, but I like OMAC as a character, and there's a lot that can be built with OMAC. Why can't the brave and the bold be the brave and the bold? Okay, help me out here, Paul Martin. Who's the brave and the bold? Who are the original brave and the bold? Who are the 2 characters that were normally featured in the Brave and the Bold before Batman took over and it became a Batman team-up book? I'll wait for it. But anyway, that's all I'm saying, man. Y'all got way more stuff in y'all repertoire than what you giving us Batman every month. Absolutely correct, Mr. Martin. I'm sorry. Hal and Barry were the original Brave and the Bold. Not Ollie and Barry. Ollie and Barry were on Ollie and Barry? When were Ollie and Barry ever together? Ollie and Hal were the hard driving heroes. But yeah. Barry and Hal were the original Brave and the Bold. And then something happened, and all of a sudden, Batman was freaking showing up in the Brave and the Bold every month. And it became like DC's Marvel team up. It was DC's Marvel 2-in-1. You know what I'm saying? That's what was going on with the Brave and the Bold. But I feel like if they bring it back and have maybe like Jon Stewart and Wally West, that could be an interesting Brave and the Bold. But we making Batman and Robin the Brave and the Bold. Huh. At least cinematically, it sounds like it. So we're going to get the Brave and the Bold. Or I thought it was going to be the dynamic duo. Man, why don't you call it the dynamic duo? Never mind. But there you got Warlord. He got rescued from Skartaris, didn't he? But I would love, Warlord. And then there's a whole bunch of characters in Skartaris that you got mileage out of, like Arak, Son of Thunder, Arion. It was a whole bunch of comics that you got out of just the Warlord line of comics. It's, man, come on, y'all. They want to retcon and regenerate and regurgitate stuff from the past because they don't want to think of nothing new. How about that? The Omega Man, Mosaic, so much stuff. So much great stuff from the 80s and the 90s. Dark Stars. Come on. A lot of stuff. But you're just being lazy. You're just being lazy. And a monthly Elseworlds book. You stole the idea from What If anyway. So just make Elseworlds a monthly thing. DC Elseworlds featuring. And tell us an offbeat story about a character that we never got before. Who knows? A lot of them offbeat stories end up sometimes becoming canon or canon adjacent. So, or you might get your own Earth. So much they could be doing that they aren't. I don't want to see genders, people saying, oh, I was straight, but now I'm gay, and oh, I'm not. That's not what I read comic books for. I don't read comic books to see people's sexual orientation. If you got people who are of a sexual orientation in a comic book, that's fine. But as I said, with any other character, you don't have to take a character and turn them a certain way. Just create a new character and make them that orientation. And those characters don't last because you're building their character around their sexual orientation, not around who they are as a character. I can deal with a gay character. I can deal with a bisexual character. I can deal with a queer character, but don't make their sole being their sexual proclivity or gender identity, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Just a thought. Just a thought. Just a thought. Okay. Did we get everything? Yeah, y'all. Yeah, y'all. Yeah, y'all. We hit it all. We hit it all. We hit it all. Hey, you know what somebody told me? When I do my reviews, my comic book reviews, I should not use the majority of pages from that comic book. So my review should be more of me telling you about the comic than it is consuming you with images from the comic. So my comic book reviews will begin to be more of me giving you narrative than me just showing you images. Okay? That's if I show you the entire or the majority of the comic book in my review, why would you feel pressed to go out and buy it? And that makes sense to me. Why would you buy a comic that you could just turn on my video and see? So, and I already was going to be doing less. So, but I've been, as I've been put on my heart and told to me that maybe this is what I should do, and that should make sense. It should. Paul Martin said, I disagree. It helps the consumer make a choice if the art is whack. No, don't understand. No, you misunderstood what I said. I said I'm going to use less pictures, not no pictures. Less. Let's say something like 5 or 10 tops. You know what I mean? And even then, I don't even think it's going to be whole full pages. I think it might just be, like maybe frames or images to illustrate what I'm trying to convey effectively. And I can do that. I just, I'm sometimes I get so excited and I'm in a rush to get it out there to y'all that it don't 100% track. But, iron sharpens iron. And I appreciate my man put me up on game and let me know. Look here, y'all. Today's Thursday, tomorrow's Friday. And y'all know on Friday what we do. Me and my man Theo B, we pulls up for the vibe. You bring what you drink, you bring what you smoke, and you come and you chop it up with us for a couple of hours. If that long. Depending on how long we feel like being in there. Depending on how long y'all feel like being in there. It's a vibe. If we're going to be in there 5 minutes, 5 hours, 5 seconds, the vibe. We get in. It's like being in a swimming pool. When you get in a swimming pool, if the water's good, you sit in there and you hang out for a little while. And then you're like, okay, I've had my fill in the pool. I'm ready to get out and go get me a pina colada or whatever. And you get up and you go. So no worries. You know what I'm saying? That's why it's near at least happy hour near around here. That's what we're gonna do right here. But y'all pull up for the vibe. You usually do. Hey, night, tell them sorry you're late. But like I said, replay team's a monster. Come on, you'll say Batman is pablum for white boys. Validus is the son of Saturn Girl and Lightning Lad. Wow. Did not know that. Need that Legionnaires espionage squad. He left out the O. Okay. Paul Martin said, I've been reading comics for over 50 years. Combined, I have less than 30 comics of the Trinity's solo series. I was a JLA junkie in DC. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, you best believe we pulling up. This is where we at. This is the function. This is what we do. Y'all know I don't want to go back and forth with trolls. But sometimes, you coming back starting shit. You best believe I'm going to give as good as I get. That rhymed again. Okay, I'm going to stop before I be convincing myself I could do another album. All right, y'all. Y'all make sure y'all pull up for the Friday vibe. And thank y'all for pulling up for the Thursday live. I will be coming at you with another one of them other ones. And until I do, y'all be good to each other. And y'all pull up tomorrow night for the Friday vibe.